Okay, we're doing a set, and my hand died. But everyone down at that park just thinks I was about to die. Sorry about that, guys.
So one of the most common emails I get from new pilots is, I want to get a beginner wing, but I don't want to get something I'm going to get bored of. Normally, what I'd like to say is if you're bored on any glider, you're just a boring pilot, but I don't. I keep it professional, and I explain that this is a pretty normal misconception about beginner gliders. Conveniently, I'm actually in the process of filming a full, intense review video on the Roadster 4 and the brand new Spider 4, which fall into the category of beginner gliders. So I wanted to make a vlog style video today, taking you guys for a flight on a Roadster 4 24 meter to show you that beginner gliders are not something that you should get bored of or especially outgrow within a few months. In my opinion, you should always progress on your current glider to the maximum level of performance that that glider has to offer before upgrading to something with more performance. So many people kind of want to take a shortcut and get on a more advanced glider, which does big maneuvers easier, but yet they lack the skills to actually do those big maneuvers on a beginner glider. Also, FYI, I have Roadster 4s in every size in stock, ready to ship next day. I think my Spider order just finished completion in the Vietnam factory and they should be here pretty soon. So I'm also gonna have Spider 4s in every size ready to ship next day. So before we get in the air, what is the Roadster? The best way I can describe it is it's not your beginner glider. I don't recommend taking your first flights on a Roadster. You should do that on something like a Moxie or a Mojo that's A-rated. But if you go through training, you get 50 or so flights and you don't suck, then you're more than likely ready to upgrade to a Roadster, or a Spider for that matter. For some pilots, the Roadster or Spider is their forever glider. That's enough performance. They just want to get up, they want to go around, they want to stay safe. That's great. For other people, it's their stepping stone into something more advanced. But then that begs the question, when are you actually ready to upgrade from the Roadster to something more advanced? We are gonna get in the air here in a minute. Hopefully this wind dies down, and I'm gonna show you guys what you should be capable of doing on a glider like the Roadster before you upgrade to something more advanced. And I'm gonna show you just how boring it is to fly a glider like this. Well, let's get in the sky.
It's definitely a little bit strong conditions right now, so I don't think I'm going to get back to the superstitions much, but I don't really need to for this mission. So for reference, this Roadster 4 that I'm flying is a 24 meter, and I weigh all up, I'm about 113-ish kilograms, so I think that puts me about 7 kilograms shy of the max loading, if I remember right, on this glider. So this is realistically the size like I would recommend for a new student to get. The Roadsters and Spiders I like towards the max loading, but a little bit shy is better than overloading in all circumstances. Also, this is, I think, only my third real flight on this glider, so you guys are going to see real-time me trying to dial in some wing overs. And new for the 4s, the Roadster 4 and the Spider 4, they added winglets on these gliders. So the winglets basically help the glider track straight, and a lot of people are concerned about like taking away the handling characteristics. So I'm going to be able to feel how this thing handles in doing bigger wing overs. Also, I should mention this is completely stock brake length, no tip steering added. Let's see how she goes. This glider is a lot bigger than I am used to flying. Oh yeah. Okay, I see you. Oh yeah, dude, I am so bored. I am incredibly bored right now. Completely upside down on this Roadster 4. Okay, so first run, dude, she went. Now my whole point of this video is to say that beginner gliders aren't boring. However, there is obviously some truth to the fact that a beginner glider and a bigger glider is quote-unquote more boring than a really small advanced fast glider. But there's a scary tendency that like you get into with big docile gliders. When you start doing big wingovers, you just feel like the glider just gets mushy and weird. I was a little afraid of that, but that felt really good. There's a fellow paramotor pilot that looks like he's about to launch down yonder. I think I'm gonna go do another run of that, and then we'll see what other trouble we can get into. I'm gonna do a sat to show you guys that you can definitely do a sat on these gliders. Not that I would recommend a beginner go out and do sats on their own. Okay, we're doing a sat, and my engine died. That's about as much brake pull as I have, but that's a nice sat. And we'll come out. I'm just gonna let her pendulum because I want minimal altitude loss so that I can restart my motor. Stow brake toggle. Even though I have 2 potential LZs. There we go. Yeehaw! But everyone down at that park just thinks I was about to die. Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty, this time I'm gonna go ahead and just grab the tip steering, like so. And this is basically going to be like adding power steering. You can use these independently or you can use them together. I just want to see how this changes the response rate. Now we can see we get massive tip engagement. Okay. So it's exactly as I would expect. In terms of response, but I feel like those are almost too short to do a big wing over, because I actually want main brake travel when I'm getting that big on a wing over. I want to be able to stab all the way down low, and that tip is preventing me from getting maximum main brake deflection, which I need. Now, if you're paying attention, I'm doing about 270 degrees of rotation, and I use the heading as a reference. So when you're learning wingovers, I always recommend that to keep things consistent, use either the amount of wing below the horizon as a reference, or use your headings as a reference, or both. Initially, you want to start with like 90-degree wingovers, just kind of getting that tip to the horizon. Then eventually you start advancing to 180-degree rotation, and then 270-degree rotation is like the big wing over. Then after that comes a barrel roll. So that's my TED talk for the day. I'm gonna go harass BB. She's out here and she's not flying, and then maybe I'll go photobomb those people. Alright, down low is for sure bumpy, but there's a nice family out here doing a photo shoot, and I think it would be kind of funny if I photobombed in the background. So we're crossing these high tension lines. Yeah, the camera lady's out. And I fly right into the power lines and traumatize everyone. Hello. What's up? Alright, I think that successfully has proven my point. If you're not getting upside down on your beginner glider, whether it's a Mojo, Moxie, A, or B rated glider, you're just not trying hard enough. Just gotta throw that thing around, get upside down on her, and hopefully this dispels the myth that beginner gliders are boring.
All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed my little TED Talk on the Roadster and Spider beginner gliders. If you need a new glider, hit me up, info@tuckergott.com. Happy to help with any questions. And also, if you have any specific questions you want to see answered about the Spider or Roadster, comment them down below because I'm working on that full review right now. I'm also planning on filming a video tonight that addresses a recent fatality and the lessons that can be learned from that. So not really looking forward to filming that. That's always a hard thing to discuss, but I think there's some actual valuable lessons from this to share with the community. Anyway, on a happier note, I hope you guys are having fun, flying safe, just living life out there. Until the next one, have fun, fly safe, peace.